cloud as a services, as a subscription and so on. It's just deducted in a current tax year. So I'm just trying to give you at the best level the key angles to look at it, as opposed to highlight in detail. Because again, it would be in both sides, the supply vendor side as well as the client side's interest to make this one going, because that's the way that's the way these things are moving. I mean, just quoting another very large statistic is wherever we are today, I think 70 billion investment, 70 billion spent on computing globally. So this is industry. I read this somewhere in one of the Gartner or one of those research recently. To 162 billion, so it was almost doubling in terms of the money you're spending on cloud computing. So clearly, the vendors want to ensure that they have a roadmap and a path which is taking with all their products, and this becomes enhanced services. And similar to certain things, as we outlined clearly, this is one of the top priority out of the top 4 priorities from the client side in terms of what is their spend priorities over the coming next 3-4 years. But just another research, while we're talking about this stats and numbers, the CFO actually outlined, this was done of some of the CFO, that they see the cloud computing as the most measurable impact on their business. So this is if you are migrating, if you go into that adoption journey, that's fine. IoT was the second one, but just outline that this is fairly important aspect in terms of both the suppliers as well as clients to continue to look and go in that journey to maximize the perceived benefits.
Okay, now, so because I'm trying to get a sense actually as to why organizations move to the cloud. I mean, is there economic benefit as well as operational complexity that you take out? So I understand the process of moving from CapEx to OpEx, but thinking about the total cost of ownership, in terms of, is a saving in terms of IT staff? Because typically in terms of IT spend, staff is a big component of your spend. Is that the big proportion of the saving, and therefore you're ultimately paying the cloud providers maybe 2-3 times more over the life of the product, but you save in other areas, and therefore your total IT budget is actually declining?
So if I just okay, that's very interesting. So very interesting. Let me just bring my thought process right. So if you look at what people are outlining in terms of your improved asset utilization, let's focus server. In terms of the service utilization, clearly you are beginning to get much better usage of it. There is an increase of 60% type things. Because right at the moment, if you are in a current environment, the asset utilization is on a lower end, around 30-35%. So you clearly you're getting bigger buck for your server assets, if you like. But also the thing happening today is there is a fragmented demand and the duplicative systems for payments, for core banking, and so those things. And what we're beginning to do with the cloud, which is one of the most important aspect, is you are looking at aggregated demand, and you're looking at every bank wants to consolidate their core banking products and their payment products and so on and so on. But this gives them an accelerated roadmap to that extent, which is clearly being looked at it. And the other big headache, other big pain is the application development, application support area, which is, with the banks, over the time as many changes happens, both the business side as well as technology side.